What is up, guys and girls? Hurricane Liz here, and no, I am not this short. I'm literally almost squatted down because I'm just too lazy to raise my light up in the air. But you also notice that I'm too lazy to move because I'm still in my old apartment. However, I will be in my new apartment next week, so this ghetto setup will be done and over with. But I've got a very exciting video to deliver to you. This is hot off the presses. I'm about to talk to you about the simple trick that high-level FBA sellers are using to rank their product on page one. Now, if this works on FBA, this will work on merch, this will work on books, this will work on just about anything as long as you're selling on Amazon. So today, we find out the goods. What are the highest level sellers doing to stay on page one and make millions and millions of dollars? I got all that and a heck of a lot more, so let's go and do this. Oh, and my cat's super excited. You can see she's fired up. She's not leaving any scratches, so let's do this again. All right, so let's talk about what the number one most important thing in all of Amazon is. And I've said this in other videos, but people might not have paid attention or they might have just let it go over their head. It is not sales. And let me further go into that because I know a lot of people are saying like, Liz, have you lost your mind? Of course, sales are the most important thing on Amazon. I am specifically talking about what it takes within the Amazon algorithm to rank on page one for any given term. And while it might seem like sales are the most important thing, they are not. So I'm going to remind you what I said in the other video, and I'm also going to show you a screenshot from an event that I usually hold with the professor of Amazon, who is possibly the number one foremost expert for ranking on page one of Amazon. And I'm going to talk to you about it and explain what it means. All right, so let me explain it to try to get you guys to understand. So imagine that ranking is a pie, and in that pie, it's 100%, right? And so imagine you got book A, which is yours, and book B, which is your competitors, and you manage to get more add to carts than your competitor. You are now 59% of the way of getting a green light to being number one in Amazon if you can do that versus all your competitors. So 59% of the pie is add to cart over existing add to cart. And let's talk about, despite the fact that we think a sale is the best thing, which it is for our pocketbooks, having a purchase over existing purchase, meaning that you're getting more purchases than your competitor is only 12.9%. And you'll see the breakdown of the rest: product, page design, search terms, clicks, CTR, etc. And then a bunch of other stuff that I gotta be honest, I don't even know what it means, but I don't pay attention to it because the main and most important things are up here above the 2%. And that's pretty much all it takes to rank on page one of Amazon. So you'll notice that nothing is in there that says anything about conversion. Nothing is in there that says anything about any of those things that people mostly credit for helping you rank number one on Amazon. Now you might say like, Liz, I don't understand. So I don't understand why this is happening. Why is this the case? Why does it make sense that Amazon pays close attention to that? Well, the reality is that Amazon knows how much every single person that lands on a page will generate them in revenue. This is called a metric that is EPC, or earnings per click. So they know that every time a person clicks on a link and ends up on one of their pages, they know exactly how many cents that person is responsible for in generating their revenue. So if they know that someone is sending good, solid traffic, and we'll talk more about that here in a second, then they know that that person is helping them generate a ton more sales and putting extra pocket in their bottom line. So they could really give two shits if you're selling the product. They can only give as much as 12.5% or 15%, whatever it was, with a purchase over existing purchase. That's all they care about. If you put extra money in their pocket, a lot of times you can put extra money in their pocket by sending traffic to your page that's just adding to cart because those people show an intent to purchase. So that's really important to understand. All right, so you might ask, well, Liz, then if that's the case, why can't I just say send junk traffic to the Amazon page and just have it add to cart? Why can't I just make a bot that does this over and over again and I'll just set it up? The reality is that's already been done. That was done about 2 years ago, and that was the glory days of Amazon for anybody that had a bot that would just do this action over and over again, and this would get them ranked for page one. So you often saw a lot of really spammy products that had no reviews, no sales history, no nothing, end up at the top of Amazon and eventually start selling just because of the fact that they had a bot. But Amazon stopped that. And now what has to happen is that each buyer that is on Amazon, and let's just take a look at a random product on here. We'll just jump into this beauty category and we'll jump into any one of these. Every single reviewer, we'll look at these 94,130 ratings, and we'll see that there's a ton of reviews on here, right? 94,000 reviews. That's 94,000 different customers that have left those reviews. Now Amazon has a rating system for each buyer. And while we cannot see them, or we don't know what they are, they on their back end have review scores for every single buyer. So if you've ever been banned from leaving reviews on Amazon, as I have, then you'll know that your buyer trust score is down the toilet. And when you get people that have a really bad buyer trust score to take these actions on your listing, you're actually harming your listing more than just not even inviting those people. So it's really important to get good, solid people in there that don't leave a lot of reviews, they aren't spammy, and they haven't been in every single review group that there is, leaving reviews for everybody. So that's really important, and that is a score that not a lot of people know about, not a lot of people talk about, but that's on the back end of Amazon, and it's called buyer trust. So now that you know this information and you know the basics of what it takes to rank on page 1 of Amazon, obviously we can get way more technical, but I don't advise that, as this is already a very advanced YouTube video, and just by watching the entirety of this video, you'll be far ahead of pretty much 99.9% of Amazon sellers. It's a fact. Let's talk about the simple trick that all these top level FBA sellers are using right at this very moment to rank on page 1 of Amazon. What they are doing is they are putting jobs at one of two websites. The first is called Mechanical Turk, which is actually owned by Amazon. So it's Amazon Mechanical Turk, which is rather interesting. And the other one is Micro Workers. So what these sites are is that average everyday people living in the US, you can very clearly state that you want US people, are doing these mini jobs and then getting paid by you a very nominal fee in order to do these mini jobs. And you can put jobs on there for them to do this. It could be simple things. You can read through all that they do. In fact, Amazon has their own one. Here's a global on-demand workforce. So you can also hire Filipinos to do this. But I wouldn't advise the Filipino traffic. I would do primarily just USA traffic. And let's talk about what these Amazon sellers are doing. And while I don't have a visual document that shows you how this is done, what they are doing is creating a survey with Google. And it's a survey with Google that says something to the effect of, thank you for showing interest in testing out our product page on Amazon. So in order to get paid your, let's say it's $1 or 80 cents, whatever you want to pay them, you're going to need to take the following actions. So step 1 would be potentially search for Passover activity books on Amazon. And we talked about this in another video. So we got Passover activity books. Now search for the book that looks like this. And now we gave them a picture of the book that looks however our Passover book. Let's say it's this one right here. Click onto the book. And now, as you're onto the book, verify and read through the page. Make sure everything looks fantastic. Make sure there's no misspellings in the description. They could say something to that effect. And then after that, we need you to go into the reviews and take a look through the ratings. Read through the 4-star ratings. So then they'll go through here, read through the 4-star ratings, and they might even ask, what was the last word in the review by Ira Martell? So then the person, the micro worker, puts this word complaints, and then they say, step 3, we need you to go into the images and take a look at the 2 pages of the book. And so then that would require them to click on here and then take a look at these 2 pages and look around the book. And then the last thing might be spend a couple more minutes on the page looking to make sure everything looks good. And they might be very specific and say, spend 60 seconds on the page to do all this. And then that's it, end of story. Now, to even turbocharge that even more, they could say at the very beginning, before going to step 1, first do step 0 or step A, right? And step A could be them asking these people to go to their competitors page. Going over to their competitors page, looking at their competitors page for 5 to 10 seconds, and then going back and stepping out of that page and then ending up on their own book. And what that does and what that's telling Amazon is saying that, hey, look, yeah, your competitor, this is the competitor, the person was on the competitor page, but then they ended up on our book, which is greatly more attractive than our competitor's book, and that's why we should be ranked 1. And that is one of the most bullish signals that you can send Amazon and let them know that your book is greatly more attractive than your competitors. Amazon will be over the moon with wanting to get your book ranked and get it some extra traffic and some extra sales. So while I do not have a survey or an example survey on hand, if you guys are really interested, I could put one together. But again, the last and final thing that I wanted to mention is, which is a question that might be on your mind, what do you pay these people? I've heard of people paying anywhere from 80 cents to $1, but you could also shoot for less. Remember, since it is USA traffic, more than likely you are going to be looking at anywhere from 80 cents to $1. And you might also wonder, like, how much traffic do I send? It's going to depend. You really want to look at what Helium 10 says in terms of what you need to give away to get this book ranked, and that'll determine how much money you want to spend on it. At the same time, while I would do this, I would also send pay-per-click advertising and traffic like that. So hopefully this helps you. And like I said before, this is being done. It's very rampant among FBA high-level sellers. I've seen it done. I haven't been able to try it out on my own products, but I guarantee you if they're doing it, it is 100% working. That's at least what I'm hearing from the top-level sellers that I do hang out with. So questions and comments below, I always personally answer, and I'll see you on the next video.